The first lot that I'm at is number 3 on Martingale. This home site is a little bit higher up than the ones behind it. That street right over there is Pelham Street. This is Martingale. So across the street will be a home. It'll be the side of a home. And then that street going up the hill is Centerfire. And then that continues down Martingale. Now I'm standing about where your back patio would be on lot number 4 on Martingale. And as I look to the right a little bit, the trees that you see over there are a nature preserve that will stay put. And then as I mentioned, this is higher up than the houses behind us. So the houses behind us have a small retaining wall in their backyard, and that is why there is wrought iron fencing on top. The last thing to point out about lot 4 is the sun position. This backyard faces directly south, which would mean to the right, this is west. The front is going to face directly north. And then this side is east. This is lot number 2 on Martingale. That's going to be Pelham Street. Here is Martingale. This will be, so you've got the backyard of someone there, you'll have the backyard of someone there, and then the side of their house there. That street up the way is Centerfire, and then that is more Martingale. I'm in the backyard, roughly where your patio would be, and the area behind us is a little bit lower, so the homes behind us have a retaining wall, which needed to have a fence put on top. And then on this neighboring lot, the neighbors already put fence on the left side, or on this side of their backyard. I'm not sure how much you would see it, but if you were sitting on your patio here and kind of shifting your chair to the right, you might get a view of the trees back there. That is a nature preserve that'll stay put. Relatively flat lot, both this one, which is lot 2, and the one next door, which is lot 3. The driveways will have a slight slope. The sun position back here is almost due south, so I'd say due south is like maybe here. So not very different from the home site next door, which was lot 3, which would make this side west, and this side north, which is the front, and then this side would be east. When I talk about a slightly sloped driveway, you can see here, this is the house next door to lot number 2. So they've got a little bit of a slope going on to their driveway. Then all of these are going to have sidewalk that will continue on. So I think either here on lot number 2 or next door on number 3, both will have similar driveway slopes to the house right here. I am standing at lot 22 on Centerfire. On this one, the garage and driveway are going to be on the left side of the lot. You can see here that the house to the left of us is a little bit higher up, so there's a retaining wall that runs down the side. The same thing is going to happen over here on the right side of this lot, where we are higher a little bit than the one next to us. And so we will add a small stone retaining wall down the side of this one. The driveway will have some slope to it here. I'm not going to say significant, but maybe a little bit more than what you would experience on lot number 2 and 3 on Martingale that I started with. And so now I'm looking down Centerfire Street. The next street that picks up is Martingale, and down there is where lot number 2 and 3 are that I started with. And then there's the rest of Centerfire Street, which connects up at the top of the street to the other part of Martingale. It's like a big loop. So with the garage being on the left side, that means that on the Palmieri, the patio would be on the left side. Something that's nice about this on this lot is that the house next door has its patio on the other side. So that would create a private area right back here. We have a small retaining wall that's built here, and because it's a certain height back there, it has fencing on top of it for this particular lot. And then while it's a little higher up there, what I anticipate when it rains is that you'll probably have some water that might trickle down the backyards. But really, a lot of the way we do our grading is intended for water to flow in between the lots. So in between the lots and out to the street. The sun position back here, I'm facing east, northeast. And then as I turn to the right, this would be south, southwest. And then as I'm looking at the front, this is going to be facing west, southwest. And then on this side, we are facing north, northwest. So you would have a shady back patio in the afternoon and evening. Now I'm standing at lot number 21 on Centerfire. So we just were at number 22 next door, and so now we're at 21. So we've already talked about how down this side will be a small stone wall. And then the same thing is gonna happen to the right of this lot because it is a little bit higher up than the one next door. So down this side, we'll do a small stone wall. Stepping back and looking at lot 21, the garage and driveway will go on the left side right over there. We do have a little storm drain here. And then here I'm looking up the street on Centerfire. And then as I turn this way, we're looking down the street on Centerfire. So as I walk toward the back, this is going to be the same as the lot next door where the patio would be on the left side. So if you buy this lot, I'm not sure what's going to be built next door, so you may or may not have a patio near you. We do still have a small portion of the retaining wall back here, but because it got so short, it does not have fencing on top, and it will not have fencing on top. And so there will be other homes that back up behind us there and there. And so this would be the same sun position as the last lot, where this is going to be primarily east. So you'll have a shady backyard in the later afternoon and evening hours. And that's looking up the hill. And that's lot number 22 next door. And now I'm looking towards Center Fire. And then that's down the street. So this is lot number 20 on Center Fire. We just left lot 21 right there. So we'll know that we'll have the stone little small wall that gets built there. And then the same thing will occur over here to our right. This one will be pretty subtle down that way. We do have a street light on this lot and the electrical box, which, speaking of the electrical box, I believe that was on 2 doors down at lot 22. Again, our driveway is going to be on the left-hand side of the lot with a slight slope to it. Something that's a little bit different on this one versus the previous two, those are more rectangular, truly rectangular. This one gets a little bit wider in the back, and then the right property line goes a little bit further back. So it's a bigger backyard. The retaining wall, though, has stopped. So it stopped at the edge of lot 21. And so where that stone stops, then all of this would be lot 20. And so if you need a fence, on any of these, you can fence in when you move in. But on this particular lot, there isn't any fencing that's already going to be included, to where some of the other ones I've showed you have some. So now I'm looking down the street. That's Martingale. Here's Center Fire. It goes up the hill. The sun position back here is getting just a little bit more directly northeast. Which would make this to the side southeast, and then to the front would be southwest, and then to this side would be northwest. Sorry, I had to think about that for a minute. And again, I think with the water, I was showing these lots the other day to somebody and they were asking about water. I do think that there's times, if you got a ton of rain, that maybe coming down these backyards, you might experience some water movement, but we're going to shape each of these backyards with grading for water to flow down the sides of the lots. So I'm not concerned about water rushing up into a home at all. We're going to grade the dirt so water goes away from your house and out the street and down that direction.